Hamuoni. Asanteni sana for your patience. I know we have not started when we said we would, but thank you very much for your patience. I would like to welcome those that are still outside the tent to kindly join us as I take this great privilege to welcome you to the inaugural Pastoralists Conference 2024, which is one of a kind and also happens to be celebrated on the year of the camel. I don't know how many of you know that there's actually the year of the camel. Now you know, that's why we're here, so that we get to learn from each other, get to hear ideas from one another, but also get to have a good time. Isiolo is a beautiful place. This is my first time to be here. So let us also be good ambassadors in terms of tourism as we promote domestic tourism. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our chief guest as I welcome you to such an amazing program. My name is Resian Lebai. I'm a journalist by profession, a pastoralist by birth, and also by choice. Thank you very much for your time. I would kindly ask you to be upstanding for the national anthem, followed by the East African anthem, and then we will go to the prayer session by our sheikh and pastor.
Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu.
Thank you very much. We may kindly take our seats as I call upon Bishop Stephen Kalunyu and Sheikh Hassan, who will lead us in prayers.
ولا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل وتدلوا بها إلى الحكام لتأكلوا فريقا من أموال الناس وأنتم تعلمون. يسألونك عن الأهلة قل هي مواقيت للناس والحج وليس البر بأن تأتوا البيوت من ظهورها ولكن البر من اتقى وأتوا البيوت من أبوابها واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون. وقاتلوا في سبيل الله الذين يقاتلونكم ولا تعتدوا إن الله لا يحب المعتدين. صدق الله العظيم. اللهم اجتمعنا اجتماعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا شقيا ولا محروما برحمتك يا رب العالمين. اللهم اصلح أمورنا كلها. اللهم إنك تسمع كلامنا وترى مكاننا وتعلم سرنا وعلانيتنا ولا يخفى عليك شيء من أمورنا برحمتك يا رب العالمين، برحمتك يا عزيز يا غفور. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها، أنت وليها ومولاها برحمتك يا رب العالمين. اللهم إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. بفضل سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خيرا.
Let us continue in prayer. God is good and all the time. Let us pray. Let's continue in prayer. Almighty, our loving God, as we gather here today in this place, we come together as pastoralist leaders, community members united by shared purpose and commitment to one another. We invite your divine presence among us and humbly ask that your guidance may be with us throughout this conference. Dear Lord, we seek your blessings on this gathering. We pray that our hearts and minds will open to wisdom, collaboration, and understanding that your desire for these counties present here today. Help us to listen deeply to one another, embracing the diverse perspectives and experiences that each person brings into this conference. We come before you with prayer for peace in all the 11 counties, more than 10 counties present here today. We pray that, Lord, you help us build bridges of harmony among our tribes, among our families, fostering a spirit of love, understanding, and mutual respect. May we work together to overcome divisions, cultivate sense of belonging for each one of us present here. As we navigate the challenges that we face, we ask that we turn our heart to you, dear Lord, and pray that you give us a gift of rain. You alone are the source of life and sustenance. Send forth your shower upon our dry lands, that our livestock may thrive, our fields may flourish, and that our families may be nourished. Let the rains be a symbol of your abundance, mercy, renewing our land and strengthening our resolve as we care for it. Gracious Lord, as we continue, in conclusion, we pray and ask that you bless our discussions and deliberations during this conference. May it be a beacon of unity, love, inspiring all those present to carry forward the message of peace and compassion. Help us to remember our great duty to serve each other, our communities with humility and grace. We lift our voices in gratitude for the opportunity to gather here in Isiolo and trust in your endless love and mercy. Guide us in our endeavors, dear Lord, and may the outcome of this national conference reflect your will for our communities. In your holy name we pray, believing and trusting. Amen.
Appreciate our pastor, our bishop, and our sheikh. Just a quick reminder that we are digital here, so once you get to see on the screen the program, you can get to scan it and get to know what is going to be happening. And also to remind you that we are live on all the digital platforms. Our hashtag is NPC 2024. Whatever pictures you take, whether it's for tourism, whether it's to share information about your experience as a pastoralist or as a farmer, remember to include the hashtag NPC 2024 so that people who are not able to be here today can follow this conversation. That is a program. You can scan it. Just take out your phone, zoom in. You'll be able to scan the document in a bid to promote sustainability, which we're talking about in this conference, because it's all about innovation and sustainability. Let us reduce the amount of paper which is made from trees that we need to print out paper. So let's go digital when we can go digital. So I would now like to direct your attentions on the screen for a brief video that forms the basis and the background for our conversation this evening, as I recognize our hosts, the convener, the Kenya School of Government, Director Humphrey. I can see you. Thank you very much. I can also see Dr. Wanyama. I see Dr. Rukia, Dr. Ann, and the team that have made this day possible. So I will direct your attention to the screen.
Karibuni Isiolo.
Karibuni Isiolo.
Karibuni Isiolo.
Karibuni Isiolo.
And indeed, this is the year of the camel.
As Kenya School of Government, we are excited to organize this first of its kind National Pastoralist Conference in Kenya.
I want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to the first National Pastoralist Conference that will be held in Isiolo and Isiolo County.
This is first of its kind conference for the pastoral community. This is our time, this is our opportunity, especially those of us in the pastoral community, because we have capacity, capability, and competency to bring about the change that is required.
This conference is going to bring together different stakeholders for discussions around issues on youth empowerment, the livestock economy, and ending drought emergencies. In line with the International Year of the Camel, we hope to come up with a nice camel strategy.
Isiolo is one of the upcoming counties with big investment opportunities in pastoralism and also in tourism. We also have a large land under the community land. We also a pastoralist focused county, whereby the main livelihood for our community is livestock. So this being the inaugural, we feel proud and honored.
All the members of parliament from pastoralist areas, senators, women rep, governors, speakers, the president, the executive office of the president, plus cabinet secretaries will be there.
The first ever National Pastoralist Conference in the Republic of Kenya, bringing together 15 counties across the ASALs to really discuss and put into context the challenges and the bedeviling issues in northern Kenya, stretching from conflict to issues of poverty and how to alleviate the same, and as well as matters of climate change.
I look forward to the National Pastoralist Conference this year. This is a very important meeting where we expect to discuss a lot of issues around peace and security.
We will be tackling the theme of peace and security in the light of ASAL's regions in Kenya.
The theme of this very inaugural, exciting and interesting conference that brings together an array of stakeholders and partners is indeed an opportunity for us to talk about innovative solutions and sustainable pathways for building resilient pastoral systems in Kenya.
In this workshop also we want to mobilize resources to fund the National Drought Emergency Fund, which is a quick basket fund that we will use to respond to the anticipatory actions that we usually develop within the counties.
Thank you so much. Karibuni Isiolo. Diada. Thank you.
Applause for all our partners who have made this day possible. Just to quickly mention some of them, I would like to recognize the National Drought Management Authority for their participation. We also have the Frontier Counties Development Council. We also have our development partners, including USA Nawiri. I see Mkungu here. Thank you very much for making time to be with us. I see the Catholic Relief Services. Thank you very much for your participation. We also have our private sector partners, Cooperative Bank and KC Bank, and the most important stakeholder, the community. A round of applause for the community for all the resilience that they put in. All right, I think it's about time we get on our feet a little bit, so I would like to introduce on stage for a 5-minute presentation, because we're time conscious, the Boran dancers. The stage is yours. Now, to our support, let's give them some love and energy. If you can dance, get on your feet and dance. Sorry, the Mexico. I'm saying okay. The one representing Mexico. Tuwasindikize na makofi. Wale wa alililili pia wafanye hiyo, ni kusindikiza tunapowakaribisha Somali Queens. Tuwasindikize mpaka wafike kwa makofi. Asanteni sana. Borana dancers, well done for getting us on our feet. Thank you very much. I now welcome on stage Somali Queens for a brief entertainment as we continue with the program. Tuwasindikize kwa makofi. Asante Somali Queens. Mimi sikujua sehemu hii kuna watu wa miondoko. Asanteni sana kwa miondoko yenu. We are learning. It is part of the culture we are learning. Asanteni sana. Tuwasindikize kwa makofi. As we welcome the final entertaining group for the day, we have the Turkana dancers. Tuwakaribishe on stage. Turkana dancers, the floor is yours.
Somali group.
One more.
Yeah.
Tuwasindikize kwa makofi. Asante sana chief guest for your active participation. We really appreciate it. I'm told we still need a little bit more of entertainment, so I'll allow one final group. We have another Somali ladies group for the entertainment. We welcome you on stage. Tuwasindikize kwa makofi because hawa ndio wa mwisho. Wale wa alililili wa support wakiwa kwa kiti, na hizo alililili wa kudance kama Evelyn, Emily Mkungu representing USAID Nawiri wa support hapa on stage. We welcome you Somali queens. Please come on stage. Tuwasindikize, maybe wanataka some motivation. Wapi makofi ya Somali dancers? Tuchangamke so that we're able to do much more with the program that we have.
Bismillah.
Garissa malaga yimide helle inadi fawma nootimide helle intano wada Soomaaliya helle Isiolo ma nootimide helle Gafaro ma nootimide helle Simbo ma nootimide helle Yusufo ma nootimide helle Garissa malaga yimide helle sadawo idileenahay helle Isiolo inoo timide helle kulligaan waxaan nidhiye helle goobta waa habeenimo helle gidigeen ma noo timide helle nadistan malaga yimide helle talkeen ma noo yimide helle nadifo waxaan idhiye helle Isiolo ku soo dhawowe helle goobtaadi weeyaane helle talkaagi weeyaane helle harallaysu garan maaye helle kumbaysu soo galaye helle nadifo ma noo timide helle intaanoo wasiiraaye helle talkeeni weeyaane helle Soomaali haddaan nahaye helle harallaysu garan maaye helle talkeeni weeyaane helle fana ayaan noqone helley sadawow ku leeyahay helley nadiifo waxaan idhiye helley intaanoo wada talkaaye helley sadawow ku leenahay helley gaba furan ku soo socoye
As they get off stage, I would like to recognize, as they get off the stage, Asanteni Sana, I'd like to recognize the presence of our other development partner, represented by Mr. Hussein Abdile from Mercy Corps. They have been instrumental in making this event a success. And we now move quickly to the official opening of this program, and I would like to welcome on stage for brief remarks Mr. Yusuf Dahir, who is representing His Excellency Abdi Ibrahim Guyo, who's the County Governor, Isiolo County, who are our hosts. Karibu sana. A round of applause.
Yes, the Excellency, the Chief Guest, His Excellency Governor Nadif Jama, and all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I know there are many partners here. With diverse communities, we have 5 major communities living in Isiolo, and as you can see from the dances, we have the Somali community, the Turkana community, the Samburu community, the Meru community, and also the Boran community. So it's one of the diverse counties with different culture. We also have other Kenyans living with us. Before we used to say Isiolo ilikuwa mwisho ya lami. It used to be the end of the tarmac. But now the lami has gone far. Now it's in Moyale. And currently the other one is going to Mandera. So I think we have lost that title. Because ukifika Isiolo, people used to say umefika mwisho ya lami. So I want to welcome everybody. Karibuni sana. This is a very important conference for us. Being the inaugural, we feel honored and that it has happened in Isiolo, which used to be the first, actually, capital city for the Northern Frontier District. Actually, this is where the governor used to sit during the colonial period. So this used to be the headquarters, actually, for NFD at that time during the colonial period. And it has a very long history since independence. So I want to welcome you. So karibuni na asanteni. Thank you.
I'd like to quickly call on stage Dr. Humphrey Mokaya, who is going to be representing Professor Nura Mohammed, who is the DG Kenya School of Government. He is the man behind the idea of this conference and such impactful conversations. So we will definitely send our love along the way when you're done with the speech. Thank you very much. Oh, it is Dr. Tom Wanyama who is going to be doing the speech on behalf of the DG. Karibu sana, Tom.
Thank you very much, Risian. My name is Dr. Tom Wanyama Oundo, and now that my colleague Dr. Humphrey has been mentioned, Chief Guest, if you allow me, I can recognize the presence of my fellow directors from Kenya School of Government. We have Dr. Rukia Atikia, the daughter of the soil. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. And then we have Humphrey Mokaya. Rukia is the director, Kenya School of Government, Mombasa. So Isiolo has a director in Mombasa. Then we have Dr. Humphrey Mokaya, who is the director in charge of Security Management Institute at the Kenya School of Government. We have Dr. Ann Kangebe, director, Kenya School of Government, Embu, and I think Isiolo has done quite a bit of work with them. We have Dr. Florence Kithinji, director, Kenya School of Government, Matuga. Chief guest, His Excellency Nadif Jama, Governor, Garissa County and Chair of the Council of Governors from this region. I'm here on behalf of Professor Nura Mohammed, our Director General and CEO of Kenya School of Government. who would have really wished to be here, but as late as yesterday, we had a commitment that required that he must be in Nairobi today because there is a very important meeting he's attending at 2. But he will be making his way here because, as you all know, Professor Nura Muhammad is also a son of the soil from Isiolo County, right here. And we are glad to be identified with this county. Chief guest, when I came, I was quickly reminded that this is the year of the camel. The year of the camel, and it's a very special animal in our lives, especially in this region. So what I did was to ask for maziwa ya ngamia, and I was told I have to place an order. So I hope it will be available for me today. The time I went to Ajia, I went looking for maziwa ya ngamia, and I was very happy to be guided to a place where I really enjoyed myself. So I hope I'll still do that even today. So chief guests, allow me to bring the speech, the remarks of Professor Nura Muhammad, our Director General, in this inaugural conference. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you all to this inaugural National Pastoralist Conference here in Isiolo. This gathering marks a significant milestone in our collective journey towards building resilient pastoral systems in Kenya. The forum indeed resonates with our deep joint commitment to the future of pastoralism, which is a way of life that has supported and defined many communities across Kenya and beyond for generations. Pastoralism, as we know it, is not merely an economic activity, it is a way of life, a cultural heritage, and an integral part of our history. The changing climatic conditions, scarcity of resources, as well as notable economic pressures, however, continue to present multifaceted challenges to pastoralist communities. It is therefore important to address these challenges with urgency, understanding, and innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference then is quite timely. The theme, Innovative Solutions and Sustainable Pathways for Building Resilient Pastoral Systems in Kenya, strategically underscores the very essence of our focus, which is our collective mission to create a sustainable future for pastoralist communities. As we begin the conference, we appreciate the remarkable lineup of discussions, breakout sessions, and plenaries that will delve deeply into the areas where our pastoral communities face both challenges and opportunities. We recognize the urgent need to end drought emergencies, ensure food security, combat climate change, and build resilience. We also recognize the need to reevaluate our existing strategies to ensure alignment with the evolving needs of our pastoral communities and to advocate for policies that empower pastoralists and promote sustainable livelihoods. Further, we recognize the need to strengthen coordination between the national and county governments with a view to harmonize policies and strategies, share resources, and implement programs that are responsive to local needs. Over the next 2 days, ladies and gentlemen, we will explore these topics, and I'm confident that these sessions, led by experts and enriched by your experiences, will provide us with valuable insights and action-oriented strategies. This meeting has convened leaders, policymakers, researchers, community representatives, and activists, and all united by a common vision of an empowered pastoralist sector. We all play a crucial role in building resilient communities capable of adapting to evolving environmental and economic landscapes. This conference, therefore, is more than a meeting of minds. It is a platform for actionable outcomes and sustainable partnerships. Distinguished delegates, I encourage you to champion conversations and together design strategic solutions to the myriad challenges in our communities. Let us keep at the forefront of our minds the real people and communities behind our discussions at this conference. That is the pastoralist families, the youth seeking opportunities, and the women striving for better lives. As I conclude, I wish to thank the agencies that have worked together tirelessly with Kenya School of Government to deliver this inaugural conference. My gratitude to our host, the Governor and people of Isiolo County, our sponsors and partners, and each delegate for your dedication and commitment to this conference. It is my sincere hope that we will leave this place with a renewed purpose and a unified strategy for supporting our pastoralist communities. As a school, we are proud to be associated with this truly inspiring event, and we look forward to future collaborations in this transformative journey. Our mandate allows us to foster collaborations with other stakeholders and institutions to deliver transformative initiatives for Kenya's public service. I, therefore, welcome you all to continue partnering with the school for more impact. I wish you fruitful deliberations. Thank you, and God bless you.
Dr. Tom Wanyama for an aptly delivered speech, but I would like to make a special request. If you would be upstanding, let us give a proper round of applause to Professor Nura Mohammed for his dedication towards providing sustainable solutions for pastoralists. Let us remain standing and give him a proper round of applause that will get to him wherever he is. Asante sana, Professor Nura Mohammed, wherever you are, and the entire KSG team for making this dream a reality. Moving on swiftly, I would like to welcome for brief remarks Mr. Dida Fayo, who is representing NRT.
The chief guest, Excellency Governor Nadif Jama of Garissa County, all county leaders present, the leaders from the Kenya School of Government, all protocols observed, the FCDC CEO, I can see you there. Good morning, Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, my name is Dida Fayo. I am the Regional Director for NRT East Region, which covers Isiolo and Marsabit counties, standing here on behalf of the CEO of NRT, Mr. Tom Lalampa. Warm greetings to you and appreciations to you for this very great event. I'll start with giving a brief overview and an understanding of why we are here, and also to bring our minds together as the people of Northern Kenya, the people of the ASAL counties, all the 15 counties present, bring together our thoughts and our expertise in the context of solutions that are critical towards helping our region and our landscape to be future-proof and to be development-oriented. And these National Pastoralist Conference, being the first of its kind, gives all of us an opportunity to be able to bring our minds together and synchronizes with the dream of NRT, which is the vision and the mission of building resilient communities. And this synchronizes very perfectly with the theme, which is innovative solutions and sustainable pathways for building resilient pastoral systems. NRT is strong in peace building, strong in areas of access to finance and governance and support towards natural resource management. But key for us today here, as among the top 3 major challenges of Northern Kenya, the top 3 major challenges of Northern Kenya being insecurity, secondly being climate change, and thirdly being the issues of poverty and access to finance. And top in the discussion today, which we are really looking forward to look at, is the context of ending drought emergencies. Taking you back briefly to 2022 and crossing over to 2023, when we experienced the biggest and the worst drought ever in the last 40 years in this country, in the Northern Kenya region, where we lost close to 2 million, billion in value of livestock. And I got statistics from Professor Nura saying that the livestock that was lost during the 2022 drought, which is nearly 70% of the Northern Kenya livelihoods, is equivalent to finance and to support 47 county governments for 2 years. So that means climate change, the impact of drought, the impact of the destruction of drought and flash floods and all that are matters which are critical to us, and we really look forward to see policy solutions, policy bottlenecks can be addressed and buttressed, as well as issues around policy practice. And with that, we should pass to you very warm greetings to you from the NRT CEO, saying we are strongly in partnership with this, looking forward to expand. We work in 11 counties so far: Isiolo, Marsabit, Samburu, Garissa, Lamu, Tana River, Meru, Laikipia, Baringo, West Pokot. We also work in Uganda, which is our 45th Community Conservancy, and also strong prospects of expansion to Somalia, South Sudan, and Ethiopia to be able to expand the context of building resilient communities. Thank you so much. Wish you a very fruitful 3 days of deep, in-depth conversations and to contribute our thoughts and our expertise that are going to bring about lasting, sustainable solutions to the people of Northern Kenya. Asanteni sana.
I think that sound of rain is probably the second most beautiful sound after the singing and dancing from our Somali and Borana and Turkana queens. So we are hoping it rains because it's getting a little hot in here. I see even the universe is rewarding our efforts. So let us stay dedicated. Let's stay engaged. This is a very engaging forum. We are not here to tell you. Our subject matter experts are not here to tell you. We want to hear from you as a pastoralist, as someone who's on the ground. Because I will also be here to listen. As I said before, I'm also a pastoralist by choice and by birth, but I'm also a farmer. So it would be nice to hear from one another, get to learn from one another, so that at the end of the day, it's not just a conference where we come, we sit, we make merry, and we go back to business as usual. So we come up with solutions. So next time we convene for the second conference, we're able to put on the screen success stories of the things that we implemented from this conference thanks to your participation. I will now move straight to the official opening address, and this will be delivered by Ms. Emily Mkungo, who's representing Director David Gosney, who's a Mission Director, USAID Kenya. A round of applause. She's been a very active participant. Asante sana, Emily, na karibu.
Habari asubuhi. It's usually very intimidating to talk in between men for a coastal woman whose father thought she would just be a housewife. So thank you for honoring me. Our chief guest, Honorable Governor Nathif Jama, esteemed government officials, distinguished guests, development partners, and all participants, all protocols observed. Habari asubuhi tena.
Salam.
My names are Emily Mkungo. I am a Kenyan, and I work with the USAID based in Nairobi. I will read my speech. It is not digital. I wanted it to be digital, but I couldn't. I promise I did not cut any trees in Isiolo, and I planted a lot of trees during the Mazingira Day. It is both a privilege and a true honor to stand before you today at the National Pastoralists Conference. As a Kenyan and a representative of USAID Kenya, I am deeply proud to be here with you to discuss the vibrant, resilient communities that embody pastoralism in our arid and semi-arid areas. My mission director, Mr. David Gosney, would have wished to be here and send his apologies due to prior engagements that have kept him away. He wanted me to convey his wholehearted support and USAID's steadfast commitment to advancing resilience and economic prosperity in the ASAL counties. Today, we gather not just to address challenges that pastoralist communities face, but also to celebrate the strength, adaptability, and cultural richness that define our pastoralism. I hope you were able to see that when we were having the different diverse dances. So for generations, pastoralism has been much more than just a livelihood. It is a resilient and adaptive way of life that has sustained countless families in our nation. The findings, I would like to quote a finding from Pastoralism, Uncertainty and Development, which underscored that how pastoralists have managed uncertainty, adapting to Kenya's diverse landscapes with knowledge that has been refined over the centuries. Today we, however, recognize that these communities face mounting challenges, from climate change and resource scarcity to limited market access and evolving socio-economic pressures. The statistics are sobering. Pastoralist households in the ASALs lose up to 40% of their livestock during severe droughts. leading to significant economic losses and deepening poverty. My colleague who was earlier here before me gave an example of the impact of the 2021 to 2023 drought that was quite devastating, lead to the loss of over almost 2.6 million livestock. And this is a reality that calls us, all of us, to action. At USAID, we are honored to collaborate with Kenyan government, local community leaders, development partners to create significant and lasting impacts. Our work is grounded in USAID's commitment to multi-sectoral approaches, addressing a wide range of critical issues through initiatives such as USAID Nawiri, the Northern Langeland Trust, the livestock market systems, USAID Kuza, and I know I could mention many more USAID partners that I am sure all of you have dealt with across the various counties in the ASALs. I would like to quote an example of USAID's commitment to working with our government and with fellow Kenyans during the recent drought, where USAID committed over 800 million to support over 2 million people that were affected by the recent drought. I could mention many more, but I will limit to that. So that said, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to the organizers, the host county, including USAID partners, and to all dignitaries who have taken time to actually gather here today in this critical conference. Our aim today is very clear: to find solutions that will strengthen pastoralism and to safeguard its future. The agenda that is set before us underscores the urgency and the significance of our shared mission: fostering sustainable, inclusive progress for our pastoralist communities. As both a Kenyan and a technical specialist with USAID, I am very privileged to work alongside these very resilient communities in Kenya and witness their ability not only to survive, but to innovate, to adapt to challenges that many would have found overwhelming. I am talking of a woman who is in Ileret, all the way back in North Hor, or a woman in Kibish, or even in Dadaab. I find their resilience very inspiring, and it is what motivates me and should motivate us to do better and to amplify their efforts. I want to also recognize none of us can do this alone. Building resilience and ensuring sustainable pastoralism requires every one of us, the government, development partners, local leaders, and importantly, the pastoralists themselves. My mission director assures us that USAID is here, committed to standing with you and our communities to make the resolutions that I hope we will come out with at the end of this period a reality. I believe together we can ensure that our pastoralist communities not only survive, but thrive. Asanteni sana.
A round of applause. Asante sana, Emily. I know that does not represent the 2/3 gender rule. It was one against a barrage of males, but we appreciate your time. Next year, we'll make sure we'll have more ladies on that panel sharing their insights with us. We're so grateful for the rain. I think the conversations here have been rubber stamped by the heavens. So we're very grateful for the rain. As we move on quickly, I would like to call on stage Lieutenant Colonel Hared Hassan, retired, who's the CEO, National Drought Management Authority. Karibu sana, one of our partners.
Our chief guest, the Governor of Garissa County, Honorable Nadif Jama, the representative of the Governor Isiolo County, representative of Kenya School of Government, Frontier Council Development CEO, Dr. Idle, Pastoralist Parliamentary Group CEO, Mr. Jarso Moku, the 11 county representative communities, pastoralists who are here, the chairman, National Drought Management Authority, who is here. Of course, I won't forget to mention that name, and I would like him to stand and wave. Director Leah also, who is representing the board of directors of NDMA, who is with me here also, stand and wave. 12 NDMA county coordinators who are here, and this shows the importance we attach to this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Indeed, it's a pleasure to join you during this inaugural National Pastoralist Conference. As you are aware, our arid and semi-arid regions continue to suffer the most as the frequency and severity of drought increases as a result of climate change. For instance, in the drought of 2021 to 2023 drought, which was recorded as the worst drought in 4 decades, the pastoralists lost about 2.6 million livestock. Our drought early warning system, which also informs in terms of action or response, has recorded improvement in livelihood across arid and semi-arid counties due to favorable rains over the past 2.5 years. However, the onset of the current short rains has been delayed, resulting in drought stress in a number of counties, among them being Garissa County, which has got 4 sub-counties, which has pockets of sub-counties which are actually in drought alert. Kilifi County, which is actually in Gaza. Marsabit also is recording alert. And Kitui County, especially Mwingi North, which has already recorded the alert state. The production system in arid and semi-arid county rely on rainfall, making communities increasingly vulnerable to more frequent drought. The reduced recovery time between drought episodes further highlights vulnerability as communities struggle to restore their livelihood assets. This underscores the urgent need to invest in long-term resilient solutions. We can only address the issue of drought risk management if we look at the long-term solution to address the problem, and also adapt fresh approaches that will break from this vicious circle. I'm therefore glad to note that this conference seeks innovative solutions and sustainable pathways for building resilient pastoral systems. It is basically doing things differently. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now more than a decade since we came up with the End Drought Emergency, or EDE strategy. It's now clear that without the concerted efforts by both levels of government, that's the national government, the county government, and also partners to build resilience over the years, the impact of 2021-2023 drought will have been catastrophic. The EDE serves as a coordinating framework that facilitates cooperation and synergy across sectors, actors, and geographical areas and levels of operations. This is aimed at ensuring coherent, coordinated, and efficient programming. We have coordinated the development of the second phase of the EDE strategy, which will be discussed in greater detail in this forum, as we seek a sustainable development approach. Finally, it is common knowledge that our local communities continue to bear the biggest brand of effects of climate change, as the international community congregates in Baku, Azerbaijan, for the United Nations Climate Change Conference beginning this week. That's needed to amplify community voices in the climate action discourse. We need to present the community voices in that international forum. At NDMA, we recognize that communities are uniquely positioned to identify their specific challenges and devise appropriate solutions that foster resilience and sustainability. Consequently, as an authority, we prioritize participatory processes in our drought risk management. Whatever national drought management undertakes, we involve the community to prioritize their needs. Towards promoting inclusivity and a whole of society approach in decision-making and resilient planning, NDMA has supported 150 community members drawn from 15 ASAL counties to participate in this forum. Hata hiyo simpige makofi tu. Sponsoring 150 community from 15 counties. This bottom-up approach will ensure community voices are effectively represented in search for solutions, and grassroots perspective and local knowledge are integrated in the prioritization of the community needs. If we listen to the community, then we'll be able to understand what this community require in order to address the issue of drought risk management. I believe this conference will enable us to consolidate and refine our approaches to reduce drought risk, increase resilience, and advance overall pastoral development. Thank you.
Asante sana for your remarks. I think nature has decided to give us a live demonstration. It says you've got the theory part sorted, but the demo in terms of what will happen if you don't take action, it's already kind of flooding here. My dress is wet on the lower part, but these are the lessons we are taking. And a lot of times we hear these conversations and we feel very disconnected, especially if you have not been affected by such things. You feel like, okay, the rains are raining, it's flooding, what has that got to do with me? But that action of you dumping garbage in a drainage that blocks it, that in turns means when it rains, the water has nowhere to go but flood. So we must get out of here while asking ourselves and answering these questions, what role as individuals we play towards the kind of challenges that we are facing. And just to put a perspective to the issue of the worst drought 2021-2023, as a pastoralist, I experienced it. And especially for people who are guests here who are not pastoralists, you might not know the pinch of having a cow that should be sold for 50,000, being sold for 15,000, and no one wants to buy it because there are no feeds. You have bought feeds, you have bought hay, you have bought dried maize, and you're running out of options, and the season is not enough. You can see how the animals are suffering, and the season is not nearing an end. So it is a very painful. It's a very painful thing for it to happen to someone, especially someone who has invested. There's a lot of time, there's a lot of commitment that is invested towards growing animals. So let us not participate in these conversations from a point of we're so disconnected from what is happening. When we talk about how drought affects people, how it challenges, how it changes people's lives and not for the good, then it gives us an opportunity for us to be involved, tuwajibike. Nafasi ile ambayo unaweza cheza na tena kwa kujitolea. Ili tutoke hapa next year, we are not talking about the same problems that we experience. We take that as a learning process for us to know to do better, to adapt better, to be more sustainable. Allow me to welcome Dr. Idle Farah. That is not an English name, it's not Ido. It's Dr. Idle Farah, who is the CEO, Frontier County Development Council, who is going to give us very brief remarks and welcome our chief guest, His Excellency Nathif Jama, who's also the chair, ASAL Governors. Karibu sana, Mr. Farah.
Thank you very much, Madam MC. Our chief guest, Governor Nathif Jama, who is also the governor of Garissa County, but also the chair of the ASAL Committee of the Council of Governors. In addition to that, he is also the founding chairman of the Frontier Counties Development Council in 2013 to 2018, and now the vice chair of the Frontier Counties Development Council. Our hosts, Isiolo County, and the representative Waziri Yusuf. Our other hosts who have brought us all here together, the Kenya School of Government, development partners who are present, senior government officials, both from the national government as well as the county governments that are represented here, NDMA, of course, that is really participating in the biggest way after KSOG. Participants, pastoralists, and when I talk of pastoralists, the president of the pastoralists is actually seated here, Mzee Tumal Orto from Marsabit. colleague Jarsomoku, PPG, who is very closely working with FCDC, participants, subject matter experts, technocrats who have come for this 2 to 3 day meeting. Good morning and good afternoon. Is it good afternoon yet? It's just 2 minutes to afternoon. We have very, very senior people, very, very experienced among us who are going to be speaking. So it will be very, very important that we participate in all the forums that we're going to have and the subjects that we're going to be discussing, ranging from ending drought emergencies, livestock, livelihoods, policy matters, financial matters related to pastoralism and ASAL. Frontier Counties Development Council, in brief, because I cannot speak too long when my boss is waiting to speak, is comprising of 10 counties, starting from West Pokot, Turkana, Samburu, Marsabit, Isiolo, Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, Tana River, and Lamu. 63% of the landmass of this country. So you can imagine more than half the country is in this FCDC, 10 FCDC counties. Currently chaired by the Marsabit governor, Governor Mahmoud Ali, as chair of the FCDC. We support the 10 counties in matters of socioeconomic development, in matters of peace and cohesion, and ensuring that we convene, we coordinate, and we encourage cooperation among these 10 counties. And when Professor Nora called us at FCDC and said we're going to have the Kenya School of Government-led National Pastoralist Conference, we immediately went on board because all our 10 counties are part and parcel of the ASAL and part and parcel of this. And when we had a meeting together with experts like Honorable Mohammed Ilmi, Jasso Moku, and so on, we agreed that this conference is going to be the technical, the knowledge part of this conference that will be a precursor to the Pastoralist Leadership Summit that is going to come on the 6th or the 8th to 10th of December in Wajir County. And just for your information, FCDC now also has the chair of the Council of Governors through Governor Ahmed Abdullahi of Wajir County. Without further ado, may I welcome our chief guest to make his remarks and also officially open for us the first inaugural National Pastoralist Conference. Let's all be upstanding and welcome His Excellency Governor Nadif Jama.
All right, thank you very much. Please be seated. Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad. I do have a written speech, but normally I'm not very good in that. So I'll just highlight some few very, very important points relating to this very crucial forum. First of all, let me say that I'm extremely honored to be part of this gathering this day in Isiolo. And at the onset, let me take this opportunity to commend my friend
KSG director for organizing, and for KSG in general. And I can see they are very well represented here for coming up with this great idea of this forum. Again, a forum that is being held in one of our counties, one of our great counties of not only the ASAS but also FCDC, as was mentioned by Dr. Idle a while ago. For me, of course, it's also a great honor and a pleasure to be coming back to Isiolo whenever the opportunity grants me to do so. I was here last year for a very, very important cultural function, and I'm here again today to officiate this important function. This particular forum or gathering today, addressing pastoralism, of course, could not come at a better time rather. And particularly with the great theme that it's carrying, i.e. innovative solutions and sustainable pathways for building resilient pastoral systems in Kenya. It's indeed what we exactly need. Because even though we are pastoralists by blood and will remain so forever for that matter, but no doubt pastoralism as we used to handle it or to manage it is no longer tenable. And therefore the need to come up with new ideas and new ways of managing this very, very important aspect of our life. And that's why a forum like this really is timely, and particularly I'm impressed, I must say, with those who are attending. The number of professionals, the number of institutions represented here, and the minds that are in this hall this afternoon are indeed just the right people to be addressing. And I'll mention some of them here as we go along, so that they can indeed be the men and women to give us the wisdom required for this kind of forum. Now, as you were told just a while ago by Professor Idle, I chair the 23 or so ASAL counties for the COG, and I'm also, as was told, the founding chair actually of FCDC back in my first term, and now I'm the vice chair. As governors of the ASAL region, as governors of FCDC, we fully appreciate the circumstances around pastoralism and what we are supposed to do. Today, as the governor of Garissa County, I can stand here comfortably and without fear of contradiction and speak for also all the other governors that as we continue to deal with our day-to-day support for the sector, particularly the livestock sector, ask me about what I do daily. I send extension workers to go and do vaccination. We do a bit of support on matters of grazing and hay and fodder. But that's not all that we can do. We can do better if we get the necessary support. Now, where is this supposed to come from? The support is, where is this support? The required support is to come from where? And I want to really outline these important required support areas so that we can work together. And I think when the great minds here eventually speak to this subject, they need to come out very bold and also elucidate on them further. For instance, the national government, and I know there are many national government officials here, probably in the right sector that we're discussing this afternoon, and even more important senior officers also here, representing even the State House for that matter, or Office of the President, and I'll mention some of them. What I want to say is, there's a fact that usually doesn't come out very clear, and therefore a large chunk of the blame tends to be to continue on the county governors and county governments. Let me just highlight something that is known, or probably not known very well, that we as county governments, we only receive about 15% average
of the national exchequer. Now 15% on average from the exchequer for all the devolved functions, whether it is for development, whether for recurrent and operations, and whether for wage bills, it cannot achieve for us what we require as county government. We cannot. And that's why, therefore, it's very, very important for a greater goodwill to come from the national government to support the counties, particularly the ASAL counties and particularly the FCDC counties, which over the years have remained in a big way marginalized. And that is not, is a historical factor which is known and which needs to be appreciated. That, yes, there was indeed marginalization in the past, and therefore now that actually we have devolution, in addition to the 50%, these counties need to receive a better, should I say, contribution and even a bigger hand than all the other counties. And therefore the need for the national government to increase their support in a big way. And I'll come to slightly later on the matter of the marginalization fund, which we keep hearing about. But before I say that, let me just give a small experience. I recently had the privilege to be in the Somali region of Ethiopia. And what impressed me is that despite the issues that they have there, without going into details, I was really impressed by the extent of support that the national government is able to be giving to the regions. The infrastructure that is under development, the support for sectors like livestock in Ethiopia by the national government is second to none. And more important, the extent of goodwill that are felt from the national government, or whatever, I think they call them the federal government or something, is indeed second to none. What we need to do is to have some comparable, shall I say, goodwill from our national government. I know, of course, there is a lot of goodwill, particularly under the current, I believe, I should say, under the current national government. I think a lot more can be done, because we do see indeed a lot of goodwill, but we need that to be implemented in a big way. Let me come quickly, in the interest of time, to the marginalization fund. And I hear, of course, I'm happy that a big number of those who probably were even related to its historical formulation are with us here this afternoon. And therefore, what I want to say is that the marginalization fund needs now to come out clear and indeed add the value that was required for these counties, particularly the FCDC counties. I'll not go into detail, but I think going forward, I know there's a board there, there's a whole structure in place. Let us see real value proposition coming from that fund as quickly as possible. I think I'll leave the rest of the details to those who may continue with the discussion later. Number three, the other aspect of support that we require in a big way is from our partners, our friends, like I'm glad that USAID are represented well here, and there are many NGOs who are really active in our counties. In as much as we appreciate what is being done, but I'm sure we can do and we can work better together. I, once in a while, come across partners, NGOs who will come and say, we do support matters of, cash transfers, capacity building. And I keep, once in a while, I find myself engaging them. That look, while those ones are important, like once upon a time, some two NGOs were telling me they have put in about 900 million shillings over the past, I don't know, about 2 or 3 years or so in cash transfers. Now, if you really were to, compute the real value, the real impact of that 900 million on the communities that who benefited, you'll probably not see any. So my capacity building is just too much of it. To the extent one time actually I was talking to some of those who can tell them, I think you have done enough capacity building for us. Can we therefore now work together with these partners, with the NGOs, particularly in these regions, in the FCDC counties, on real priority areas like, what do we need in livestock? That being the mainstay of our people. Priority issues. Can we sit down together and indeed outline the key aspects of support that we require as county governors so that we can move together and indeed create the impact that is required in our counties. Just quickly again, remembering, for instance, issues when I talk about the issue of the goodwill required by the national or from the national government. I mean, again, I'll leave some of these discussions later to the better brains. But even as simple as a matter as the Livestock Marketing Board that we have been insisting all the past many years to be formed, really, I don't even know what has happened to it. I took some interest once upon a time as the chair of the ASAL counties, pursued the bill to somewhere, and suddenly I don't know really where we are now with the assembly or with the parliament regarding that. Probably some other colleagues here will tell us what eventually transpired from that. Very, very important. It's really disturbing that we will have, marketing boards for issues as simple as pyrethrum, not simple, but rather, other sectors that probably, livestock will be a much bigger sector, and will not have the same for livestock as a very, very important and critical sector for the people of this region. So for us as county governments, of course, we continue doing our routine works, as I said, even though we also, from our Miaga resources, we're also trying to move on to support our people with issues like now, securing pastures lands through, through the community lands, rather, getting the rights back legally. We've done one or two of them in Garissa, and I'm sure also others have been implemented in other parts of the region. We're trying to support our livestock, our pastoralist communities to the extent possible to transition, to agro-pastoralism, and we're doing that. Trying to support them now to also mix or rather also attempt or undertake rather, agricultural activities. We are now moving into supporting or creating feedlots. In Garissa County, for instance, very soon we will have, together again, with support from certain sectors, we will have some, large chunks of land for feedlots so that we can fatten and indeed commercialize our cattle in a better way, or our livestock in a better way. And therefore, my call this afternoon, rather, is really not to belabor a lot on theoretical issues, but rather to leave behind this forum, hoping that it can discuss and come up with great ideas on the way forward. How do we achieve a better value proposition for this very, very important sector of our people? And that's why I am honored and really impressed that this afternoon I can see great minds amongst us here in this forum, and I'm happy that they will be here to be addressing us on these issues. For instance, let me start with my classmate, schoolmate, Waziri Elmi, if you can stand and wave at Simama Bwana. Wacha watu kuona vizuri. This man was the architect when he was the minister of indeed a whole blueprint for the development of northern Kenya. I'm requesting that today he shares the key aspects of that so that actually he can leave behind his vision, which was actually captured by Kenya Vision 2030 regarding the strategy for northern Kenya. Of course, you have listened to our NDMA CEO, Hared, speaking here. You have listened also to FCDC, another great mind, our CEO, Dr. Idle. Of course, my brother Jarso of PPG, I hope you are here. Yeah, if you can stand so that you can wave to your friends, to people here. Another important person who also, I haven't requested from him to introduce him, but I will do it, hoping that he will accept my introducing him, is Professor Gulie. Professor, tafadhali simama, wacha watu wakuone. Ama taku simama. Here you are, Professor, who is now basically in the OP on matters livestock. Director of livestock also is here, Dr. Mr. Bishar, tafadhali simama. These are among the few Of course, not forgetting Mohammed Barre, our friend from Garissa who is in the interior. Mohammed, are you around? What happened? You're hiding somewhere behind there. So all this and many more. And I'm sorry if I've left some other more, colleagues who are here this afternoon. But all of these, the ones I mentioned, and all of you for that matter, I want to assume that this will make this forum a very successful one, because as you were told, or as we're being told, it is an inaugural, or the first one to be held. Inaugural means and it will be held annually for that matter. I'm hoping that, next time when we meet on this kind of forum, we'll really have achieved some strides regarding this very, very important sector for our people and our region. Finally, before I officially open this forum, I want to inform all the attendants, all of you who are attending this forum, that I was quite impressed by the dancers and by the traditional players who joined us this morning. I wanted to mention that we had planned, actually we were supposed to have been holding our inaugural Heritage Day in Garissa County, sometimes this month of November. But because I think we want to make it a much more bigger function, to do much more preparations, we have postponed it to the 18th and 19th of January. So please pen down that those 2 days in your diary so that you can join us for what will no doubt be a great, great festival. Why am I saying this? My friend Yusuf, Waziri Yusuf, when he was introducing, or mentioning rather, he mentioned we have 5 different large communities. What I want to mention is that in Garissa we have those 5 and many more, but also very, very unique communities unknown to many parts of the country. For instance, in the south of the county we have the Awir or the Boni community, which is probably the most indigenous, or one of the most indigenous communities in Kenya are found in Garissa County. So we will be having really a very, very great day, or 2 days of great festivities. Karibuni nyote. As I now close my brief, saying that it's my honor and indeed great pleasure to open, or rather officially launch this important pastoralist forum today. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our sincere gratitude to our chief guest, His Excellency Nadif Jama, who's also the chair, ASAL Governors, for your passion towards empowering the pastoralist community, not just by word, but by deed. Sisi ni watu wa kusema na kutenda. So our development partners, thank you for joining us today, but help us walk the talk, as has been well put. I would like to welcome one person. This was a special request. She was supposed to be part of the entertainment group in the morning, but she was not able to make it. So I will give Ms. Sakina a chance for one song as we prepare for the group photo session with our guest. I will guide you on how we'll take the pictures. So in the meantime, Sakina, the stage is yours. Karibu sana. A round of applause to Changamke this afternoon. The rains have renewed us.
Assalamu alaikum na habari zenu. My name is Sakina Vibes. I'm an artist, a songwriter. And the song I'm going to perform here is a pastoralist song, Ningoma ya Ngamia, actually. So you all sit back and enjoy.
We definitely will.
Goda nangol borage, oh yo.
Tumpongeze. Asante sana. Asante sana Sakina. Makofi kwa Sakina Vibes. Sikujua very soon tunaanza kuja shows Isiolo. Asante sana Sakina kwa kufungua njia. Na ukitaka kumpongeza tuma M-Pesa. All right, so I'll now like to welcome our guests for a brief photo session. We'll start with our chief guests in this order. Please, the team will arrange some seats here. We'll take the first team, and then the second picture will be joined by all our development partners and the KSG team. So for the first picture, we'll have the chief guest, Mr. Nadif Jama. We'll have FCDC CEO. We have PPG CEO. We have NDMA CEO, that is the National Drought Management Authority. We have USAID Nawiri and USAID. I'm told those are two different teams. And we have the KSG directors for the first picture. Kindly guide us on the seats so that we can do this quickly, and then we proceed to our first panel session. Oh, they're saying it's okay to stand. So please come and stand so that we can move quickly. What we are media, it's your turn to shine. Then the photographers can help in terms of arrangement so that we get very nice pictures with a good background. So just kindly. To our partners for your commitment in time and resource. I will now quickly welcome our first panel that will take a seat here, that will be led by Colonel Hared Hassan, retired, who's the National Director Management Authority, National Drought Management Authority CEO, to moderate this next conversation, who will be joined on the set by Dr. Monica Kinuthia, ASAL's RFP framework. We have Paul Obunde. We have Michael Odhiambo, who's an EDE consultant. Mr. Tumal Orto, who is, we've been told, is a president of Pastoralists. Karibu Sana, join us on set. Stanley Mutuma from Masiko, one of our development partners. And last but not least, Liban Roba, who's the MD Tarda. Kindly come on stage and let's be part of this conversation. I know we needed more time so that we can make it more engaging. But because we want to honor our hosts who want to break out for prayer in time, so let us adhere to time. Mr. Colonel Hared Hassan, Adan, please come on stage and lead us through this next session. Dr. Monica Kinuthia, and Dr. Monica Paul Obunde, Mr. Tumal Orto, Stanley Mutuma, Stanley is here from Masiko, thank you very much. Liban Roba, I think all are here. Please take it away.
Thank you very much.
You have an issue with the sound.
Thank you very much. I think in the interest of time, we'll go straight to the discussion. As you are aware, Kenya has been implementing the end-drought emergency strategy over the past 10 years. This has been implemented as part of the IGAD Drought Disaster Resilience and Sustainability Initiative and is aimed at achieving the resilient agenda and ensuring that drought does not lead to emergency or disaster. And also, as you are aware, that we have not attained the target, therefore we are now developing the EDE strategy again, the new EDE, which is going to be launched most probably towards the end of the year. And in today's discussion, we will have a few questions that we will present to our panels. And the first question is the issue on EDE, and this one goes to Paulo Bunde. Paulo Bunde is a director in National Drought Management Authority, who is part of the secretariat that is handling the issue of EDE, and also our focal point. And the question is, how can the new ended drought emergency framework be effectively implemented? And what is different between the new and the old?
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope you are getting me. Yes. Yeah, so over the last 10 years, as a country, we have been implementing what is called the Ending Drought Emergencies Initiative, which is aimed at ensuring that when drought strikes, it does not lead to any emergencies, or the government cannot declare drought as a disaster, which means that the country should be in a position to manage by itself, has resources for response, and also build resilience of various communities at all levels, at national and also at the community level. So that implementation has been going on, and we have, under that ED1, which we started implementing around the year 2013, we had what is called the pillars, because for you to ask to end drought emergencies, you have to build resilience of communities. And one of the areas which are key for investment was peace and security, which is very critical, because without peace and security, you cannot end drought emergencies. Another one was climate-proofed infrastructure. So where we have investment in roads, water, irrigation, and also even energy. Yeah, because those are the basics, the basic foundations for development. The third pillar was human capital, which is do with education and health. Because without education, people will not be resilient to drought because they can't diversify their livelihoods. The fourth critical area was sustainable livelihoods, where we were focusing on issues relating to livestock, investments in livestock and agriculture, and all those other issues, including natural resource management. The fifth area was drought risk management, where we were focusing on the entire drought cycle, starting with early warning, resilience building, response, and also recovery. And then the last one was to do with institutional development and knowledge management. So good progress was made, yes, but there were some, we noted that after implementing it, because we're aiming at ending drought emergencies by the year 2022, but we could not achieve it. So we did a review to find out which are the key areas that did not enable us to achieve the goal of ending drought emergencies. One of them was to do with the coordination, which was not strong enough, because ED involves almost every sector, and there are so many stakeholders that are involved in all those sectors. So it was very important that we needed to address better issues relating coordination of all the partners at both levels of government. Another area was that there was a bit of misunderstanding of what ED or the ending drought emergencies was some people thought that it was a project, while it is a coordination framework, bringing everybody together. So there was a problem of ownership at various levels. So as we are now formulating the phase 2, we had to ensure that we address those issues relating to ownership of EDE. And another area was the issue of commitment of resources. Although EDE was, if you looked at it, at the national level, you'll find investments placed in the medium-term plans, starting with medium-term plan 2 for the Vision 2030, and also the medium-term plan 3. And also, if you looked at also the CIDPs, also it was also incorporated. But the issue was that when it comes to the actual allocation of resources for those key interventions, there was that weakness. So that's why now, when we are coming up with the phase 2, we have to ensure that we address all these weaknesses of the phase 1 of the EDE. So EDE phase 2, we have framed it in such a way that now we have to get recommitment of all the partners at both the state and non-state actors. And also we have rearranged it in such a way that we have 3 priority action areas instead of the 6. So the first one is dealing with drought risk management, and the second one is dealing with investment in investment in the foundations for drought risk management. And in addition to what we had, because previously we had an area which is dealing with peace and security, that one has been reviewed and expanded so that we are looking at peace building and conflict management, as well as issues relating to peace and security. Then also another issue which has also come out clearly in this, which is new, is issues of food security, which was not also coming up well during the EDE1. And another component which is coming out, and it was not coming out clearly in the ED1, is the natural resource management and issues of environmental conservation. So that is another component which has come out very clearly in this component. So those are the key areas, and also the other new areas where we are also strengthening is the coordination. So we have restructured the coordination framework in such a way that now we have shortened the levels of coordination and ensured that there is participation of both levels of government and also of the private sector, which was also not in the ED1, so that the coordination is now strengthened starting from the national level, going all the way to the ward and community level. So those structures have been restructured, and we trust and believe that with the implementation of this ED2, we'll be able to achieve the goal of ending drought emergencies. And this new framework or the strategy is going to be implemented from the year 2024 to the year 2032, when we expect that by that time we will have achieved the goal of ending drought emergencies.
Thank you very much, Paulo Bunde, for your in-depth presentation on the difference between ED1 and ED2 in terms of the pillars, and now the key priority areas. Now the next questions, and this one I will address to Dr. Guyo Malicha. Is he with us? So this question can be answered by anybody among the panels. What anticipatory actions can be undertaken to enhance food security and resilience in ASAL regions? And I believe Dr. Monica Kinodia can comfortably handle that question.
maybe you may want to allow me to go first. As,
Thank you.
Yes. My name is Stanley. I work for Maseko, and I'm attached to a program called USAID Nawiri. And I want to highlight that this is a USAID-funded program that is implemented in 4 counties. We have Turkana, Samburu, Isiolo, and Marsabit. And seeing some of the examples that I'll be highlighting are largely from this program, I just want to highlight that the program basically has 4 key main areas of focus. One being a resilient livelihood, and for the purpose of this discussion, I will actually be more inclined to resilient livelihoods. There is also issue of health and nutrition, including WASH. And the third part is basically system strengthening, issues of enabling an environment for nutrition resilience. So straight to the question, and I think I want to start with admitting and also agreeing with some of the, including the guest of honor for today. I think we need to agree, or we need to admit honestly that we need to do things differently. I'm aware that most of the approaches that we'll be discussing here today for the next 2 days, most of us actually know them. They are known to us. But for me, the main issue here is the how we deliver these approaches. I've had my brother here from NDMA talking about the ending drought emergencies. But I'm looking at basically where is the role of communities? Are we sincerely, honestly engaging them, or we're doing public participation the way most of us know is done? I think not unless we get a point where the communities are actually at the center of our interventions for the sake of ownership, then basically issues around food security and climate action may not really work. For instance, we have an approach that we are using as Nawiri. We're calling it Community Integrated Action Planning. This is a platform whereby communities are engaged and they are facilitated and supported to access risk information and be able to utilize that to come up with interventions in their own context. So in this case, we are looking at communities being or having capacities, and I'm not referring to the capacity that the guest of honor mentioned today, is capabilities for them to be able to be in charge of their own interventions. Maybe if I may highlight some of other key actions that USAID Nawiri has been able to roll out. The issue of livelihood diversification, very, very critical. I remember the story that we were talking about this morning. The livestock that we lost in the just recent drought. We're talking about over 3 or 2-point-something million livestock lost. Data sometimes can really be painful. Looking at, for example, looking at census for livestock for 2019, that's the most recent census that we have for livestock, across the ASAL counties, the total number of, for example, cattle, we're talking about 18 million animals. Do you know how many cattle we are eating every year in Kenya? I'm not talking about the ones that we are selling outside. We are actually consuming close to 3 million heads of animals. These are the latest data that you can actually Google and be able to get that. What does that mean? We talk about 2019. We lost 2.4 million livestock. So in other words, we are saying that with time, if we're not careful, then we may actually end up without livestock. Yeah? So it's an area that we really want to focus on and think about how do we diversify from our pastoralism mainstay livelihood that we're doing. For example, for Nawiri, we are looking at how do we develop youth skills. some of us who had video this morning that was being played around, you could hear how we are working with vocational training colleges to deliver skills to the young people in the last mile for them to be able not only to get a meaningful employment, but also to have those skills available in the last mile. We're talking about, for example, a water system that has been set up in Kina, for example, and we don't have a plumber there. But if these young people are actually supported to do these vocational trainings, they can get a meaningful employment at that level and also supply or be able to give services at that level. The issue of poultry, very, very critical. Diversification, we're also talking about beekeeping, fisheries, very, very important as well. But I also wanted to mention something on the early warning information, which I think is very, very critical when it comes to climate action. We are looking at, I was joking with my friend the other day, he's actually based in UK. He was telling me they actually get climate forecasts, very, very precise, to 5 minutes. Now the question is, we need to invest much more in how we produce our early warning information, strengthening those systems, and much more importantly, to be able to break that down in a way that our communities can be able to utilize them to make information. As we know, we are living in an era that basically has a lot of uncertainties. We're talking about climate change that's a bit difficult to really precisely predict. But we are saying that with that kind of investment in terms of breaking that further in a way that communities can be able to utilize is very, very, very critical for this. Maybe as I conclude, moderator, sorry, I think I'll get another chance to continue. But maybe something else that I may want to mention is on how are we engaging our communities to influence their mindset so that then they're actually able to adapt to or to be able to take up some of the new technologies that we're talking about. This is something that's related more on social behavior change. We're talking about if, for example, the responsive action around upcoming maybe drought, we're talking about offtake. Now, the question is, are our communities willing to really do that offtake? Now, we're really focused on looking at how to work with the communities to influence their behavior so that then they can actually be able to take up some of these innovations. And finally, can I mention something on crop production and fodder production, which I think is very, very critical for the purposes of this conference. We have quite a number of very reliable water sources in most of our ASAL counties. And the potential for diversifying for crop production is massive. We saw a video this morning on one of the irrigation schemes that is in Turkana, where we're talking about thousands and thousands of acres that we've partnered with the county government, with the communities to open up. I mean, we need to further exploit the resources that we have in a way, in a meaningful way that actually helps us to be able to diversify further our livelihood to more options that are more climate resilient. Thank you.
Dr. Kinodia, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We as a State Department, in the State Department of ASALs and Regional Development, we actually work together with partners to promote issues, food security in the ASALs, and also issues to do with the peace building and community integration. And to add into that, we have developed a document that we are calling Resilience Programming Framework, which brings in other shocks and stressors, because you find that the ASAL communities are not only affected by drought. Just recently we had issues COVID, we had issues locust and all that. So through this document, we have defined what it means for communities to be resilient. And in the Kenyan context, we are defining resilient communities as individuals, households, communities, and systems, both national and counties, the ability of all these to be able to recover from a disaster, a stress, or a shock in a timely manner. Remember, the word timely is key, because when you are recovering from a shock and it takes too long, you will not be able to bounce back to your original state. So to recover in a timely manner as a community or as an individual or households or systems, what do we mean? We mean that we want to involve all the systems, both government, private sector, and the national and county governments to come in solving the issues ourselves, capacity development, and here we mean capacity development for all of us, both the implementers and even the communities, and also bringing together all the other partners, and even sharing the information. The issues ourselves, we have realized that we don't need to approach it like as the technocrats, like we know it all. We know there is a lot of information out there in the ASALs, the ITKs, involving the communities to share what they already have and what they already know, bringing it on the table and trying to see what we can develop and implement together. A good example is the development of like the Nyil, the ASAL areas around Garissa. They do that very well. And these technologies have been there with these communities for years, from time immemorial, and you find that these technologies were helping the communities to survive. The Nyil example here, you find that the communities were drying the meat during the bounty harvest time, and this meat could be stored for years. And when it is dry, these foods would be consumed, and the communities would survive. These are the kind of bonding or integration of knowledge that we want to bring together. What we can buy from the communities and from the development partners, from government also, so that the communities can become more resilient, and also issues to do with livelihoods diversification. You realize that during drought, these communities will lose their animals. How can we integrate crop production, livestock production, and even small businesses, so that if this community loses one item, they have a fallback plan. A fallback plan where they can be able to continue surviving, taking their children to school and all that. And also in this proposal of our resilience programming framework, we are bringing in what we are calling the resilience measurements. And you find that at the end of the day, when we have development partners and even as the government and other institutions intervening in the communities, we've not been able to develop the measurements. How can we know that this development partner has worked with this community and has been able to move the community from point A to B? We need to measure those interventions. And to measure these interventions, we are proposing what we call the baseline surveys. Are we able to take data like malnutrition levels before we start an intervention? The food consumption scores, the coping strategies. You find that a community may have a negative coping strategy, like skipping meals, for example. If you ask the nutritionist, they will tell you skipping meals is not healthy. But you find that in the ASALs, we have quite a number of communities skipping meals when it is very dry. So if we measure all these baseline data, and then after our intervention, we look at how the community is behaving, then we'll be able to know that our intervention has moved this community from one point to a better point. So these are the kind of proposals we are bringing in. And also issues to do with the monitoring, evaluation, running together, and measurement.
Thank you very much, Dr. Monica. In the interest of time, and I'm requesting the next speaker maybe to speak in Swahili.
And now we'll go to the next question. How can climate action be integrated into pastoral livelihood to build long-term resilience? Yeah, you can take up.
Thank you, CEO. My name is Pamanes Mukeku. I'm representing Mr. Liban Loba, the MD, Tan and River Development Authority. I will try. Tajaribu kuongea Kiswahili. It's a bit a difficult subject. However, in response to the question, how climate action can be integrated into pastoral livelihoods, yaani ni kwa namna gani tunaweza kudeal na hii issue ya climate change or climate action into programs related to that. Maybe I just need to give a brief description or an explanation about ourselves. I think we are one of the 6 regional development authorities under our ministry where Monica comes from, that is East Africa, ASAL and regional development. We are on the regional development arm of the ministry. We cover the Tana and the River basins, part of which Isiolo, the lower part of Isiolo is covered. We cover most of the counties which have been mentioned on the lower side, Tana River, Kilifi, and Lamu, and also the entire Kitui County. We also covering parts of Kajiado, the Makueni, and the Taita Taveta. Maybe, and hiyo swali imeweza kuuliziwa, tumekuwa tukifanya miradi hasa katika kutengeneza miradi ya maji, ile water management and the conservation with our communities, because we work within our community. Those who are resident in our region, as you've heard our name, we are a development agency. So wherever we are working with the national government, the county governments, and our communities, in addition to the development partners. So one of the things we are doing is water harvesting and storage. Hii ni mradi ya kutengeneza mabawa ya kustore maji ya wanyama ya kutumia nyumbani na land schemes like Masinga and Kiambere. We also use the approach community-led, because under this question is actually we are trying to address the implementation. So we get most of these activities or programs coming from the community. Another area where we are involved is to promote climate smart pastoral activities by establishing demonstration blocks particularly on fodder in our region. We have quite a number of stations in our region, Tana River, Masinga, Kiambere, Kajiado, and Mali. We have got also another one in Kibwezi, in Makueni, where we produce fodder for use as demonstration to the communities for use of the animals. We're also giving them drought-resistant varieties of pastures, such as bracharia, which doesn't require a lot of water. Now there's a Napier which is being introduced all over with a bit of water harvesting. It's doing very well. Another area which we are also working on is early warning systems. As an authority, we are in the process of developing a portal, which is at formative stage, but at the moment there's quite a bit of information. Kama ukiingia kwa mradi, kwa website ya TADA, you'll be able to see some of the information which we are inputting now. And I believe going forward, we will be able to cover most of the counties which we are covering in our area, so that just on a click, you will be able to see, because we have linked ourselves with institutions like KMD. We are in the process of seeing how we can link up with the bigger monitoring unit under the Great Horn of Africa, so that we can have real data for the region. Because this has been very challenging, particularly for the farmers. Another area which we are also involved in is we are leveraging on the local indigenous knowledge, particularly on education of sustainable practices from the communities. And we believe from what we have been able to see, some of these people are now able to manage their livelihoods from those practices.
Thank you very much, my colleague from the Regional Development, Tardra. And now, next I'll go to Mr. Tumal Otto. Briefly, not more than 5 minutes, give us an overview of the 3 issues that have been discussed.
Okay, thank you. Mine is an overview of what we have been, being discussed, and also speech from His Excellency the Governor. Yes, people mentioned about the camels. 2022 is World Camel Day, also for your information, which is celebrated, but it's happening in elsewhere. Then 2024 is also the year of the camelids, as the MCA said it. And most of these things are happening elsewhere. I just jump over. So when people call me president, I'm a president of Wafugaji because we have 23 ASAL counties, and then out of that we have about 15. Then out of that we are clustered in 10. This is where we made a good structure, because this is important to mention this, and then FCDC supported us to come up with what we call county pastoral associations. That is for 9 counties, and Tanarifa, I think, will join us later. And then we recruited, and the members are trained up to 278. Then they elected me as their president from the heart of the Chalpi Desert. I live so many places away. Of course, Waziri Elmi knows all those places, because that's where he started his life, on the back of a camel, going to class 1 in North Hor. So now, yes, the issue of the pastoralist is we have over 400 pastoralists all over the world. And then they say there's no future for the pastoralists. Now, they will not go to, even to become a night guard. So what is happening is trying to help the pastoral communities so that they can live like the others. And another critical thing is that with the pastoral communities, we used to keep these animals as prestige, milk, meat, hides, and so forth. Even the ladies who are praising the camels, they are praising those people who are keeping camels. But now, let's have all those prestiges, keep those all prestige, but with a commercial mind. Prestige, but at the end of the day, you become a commercial livestock keeper or a commercial livestock producer. I want this point to go into our paper very clearly. And about the climate change. Yes, climate change is not new to pastoral communities, but it comes into different angles. Even in Isiolo here, they know that at one time, around the year 1936, the year was the year of the Olaji, where people eating up the cow herds, roasting it, and so forth. So the issue of early warning, and I said this for our reputable supporters. Yes, we have early warning, early action, but this one has to reach the pastoral communities in the far, those giant wafugaji of Wangamia, Ifike, Mapema, when the vultures is not coming 6 months in advance, so that the vultures not coming to sit on the camel's head or the goats and so on, or the pregnant mothers, the aged, so that we are trying to address that. And one critical thing, which I have also been talking about when His Excellency mentioned about 900 million being built on cash transfer and capacity building, is good. Last time, 2020 to 2023, we do not lose, life is not lost. That was for the efforts of the supporting the government and collaboration of supporting agencies, which is very good. But now, then what comes after that? When I did my calculation, quick one, 900 million can buy 150 small stocks at the lowest price. And that one, after 24 months, because these goats are going to give birth after every 6 months, then there will be a population of 600,000 goats. And that will be supporting 24, I mean, after 24 months, that can support 30 households. Exactly that is what His Excellency was talking about. These are very simple calculations. And last time, somebody left with 20 goats, and today it's 60. The population has increased, but he made sure that those 20 goats will not end up in the sufuria. Alikuwa anafanya mambo zake, but today it's 60, and that 60 is today 360,000. That's what I'm trying to say. And then these informations now has to reach farmer to farmer, because we do a lot. Kenya is so smart. But now is the time for action. Okay. So that's now alternatives. Then, of course, the issue of climate change has been mentioned. But in line with the pastoral communities, that's the time of plenty and the time of scarcity. How will I manage that? Then finally, winding up, there's also livestock bill coming up. Livestock bill is coming up. And it's very critical kwa sisi wafugaji. And Your Excellency, we need more information on that and more support and also agents, so that this, what is contained there, if it is 70% is good and then 30% is damaging, so that we can equal footing. And my real appeal, because for the last 2 days I've been attending to that like livestock bill. I don't want to go into details, but we want that bill to come up very clearly. Even during the time like this, or let me put it clearly, so that we have a livestock bill coming up, and at the back of our mind, how shall we go about it? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tumal, for your understanding of the issue of pastoralists, and it's good to know that you are president of the pastoralists. Panels, in the interest of time, thank you very much for your presentation on the three issues: the issue of end-drought emergency, the issue of the anticipatory actions, and the issue of integration into pastoral livelihood, the issue of climate change. And Tumal for giving an overview. Now, I will give the participants an opportunity to raise their questions. And if there's no question, yes, I can see a hand has been raised. Just behind the Nawiri, my good friend from Coast, and to be specific, Taita Taveta. Yes. Oh, yes, USA Nawiri. Good.
Thank you very much to our panel presenters. I've got 3 questions, and I'll make them very brief. My name is Nabowero. I'm the chairman of Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization, CARO. And one, thank you very much, Alto, for mentioning about the livestock bill, because it gives a very good opportunity for the pastoralists to take the value chain approach towards getting solutions. But also to our chief guest, and as you coordinate this, let's also look at what is good in it and what is bad in it. From my organization, there is a proposal for this bill to split CARO from the side of crop and the side of livestock. There could be some losses, because mostly CARO livestock research is about fodder, is about crop. You can't basically remove the two. The other item is about the business approach. As we do pastoralism as a matter of culture, prestige, and value preservation, the business approach would go a long way in making sure that we have the correct entry place and exit
Do we have that? And are we letting the communities have entry and exit so that sustainability is looked at? Finally, embracements of the technologies that we offer, a whole of community approach, and all the players and the stakeholders, including research, a way of entry and collaboration with the counties so that the new technologies we develop from the side of research can be uptaken. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I will give an opportunity to the panelists to respond.
I'm not taking the bill one. I know the right people to answer that. But I really wanted to emphasize the point of the market system thinking across not only livestock sector, but also these other sectors that we are diversifying in our ASAL areas. I think one of the experiences that we have, for us, like Nawiri, in the areas that we are implementing, we are actually getting to appreciate that the more you let people invest, the more they own those initiatives. We are having, for example, a model, market system development model that we are rolling out to ensure that inputs are actually delivered, production inputs are delivered to the last mile. And by having those networks closer to the people, to the last mile, and working with the communities for them to really be able to buy or to invest, they actually getting to own these initiatives much more. Yeah, so I just wanted to highlight that, to emphasize that for the purposes of really a good point there from Caldro. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me also add on to his point of involvement of everybody. What we are proposing in our new document that we have produced in the State Department, Resilience Programming Framework. In fact, one of our strategic priority areas is actually integration of everybody. How can we have everybody brought on board, and issues of research findings reaching the farmer, issues of the farmer getting to the market, infrastructure development. We know in the ASALs we have quite a challenge in issues infrastructure. You find that farmers may produce, but they are not connected to the markets. And these are some of the proposals we have in the Resilience Programming Framework. Issues to have farmers access to basic processing or cottage processing factories. Farmers producing, let's say, mangoes. Are they able to process these and improve the shelf life of these products? Farmers producing milk, are they able to process this so that they are able to produce yogurt, mara, and all that, so that they can be able to improve the shelf life of these products, and this product reaches the market? So these are the kind of connectivities we are talking about, involving everybody, the farmers, the extension agents, the researchers, the universities, all of us working together to improve the livelihood of the communities and the resilience of these communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Tumal. I see you want to respond. 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. I think I respond on the sides of livestock. That's where I am. We have livestock producers or livestock keepers. These people can form into a groups, livestock marketing groups in an area, and then let's say like Marsabit, we have 20 counties, and then when we have having such 5 of them, that's about 100 groups, and these people in their own wards or elsewhere, they can move into cooperatives, livestock cooperatives, and then from there, of course, we have the aggregators, people who will come and buy our animals, or the exporters. But these ones, without going to the details, these animals also need certain standards. So by doing so now, if today, and I've been telling the exporters also, that if they come and to get 10,000 goats from here, and then we have got all those producers in Kenya and elsewhere, they can supply, if each group is told produce 100 animals per group, they can in a position to produce. That is about the requirement. That's basically what I'm saying. Let's strengthen people at the grassroots, the livestock producers, forming small groups, then graduating into cooperatives, then aggregators and so forth can come for them. It's like small coffee tea out growers. Watu wa majani, they are small, mtu iko na shamba eka mbili eka tatu. What about when we have the such an opportunity in the pastoral areas? Thank you.
Thank you very much. In the interest of time and also prayers, we will break. And let me hand over to the MC to decide when she wants us to come back, if it is 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
That is too much time. A round of applause for that very informative session. Asanteni sana. I will kindly ask our panelists to step down and take a seat for some brief announcements before we break for lunch, and also to really appreciate Dr. Monica's remarks on, the nature of Africans and what they did in terms of preserving meat during those days, because a lot of times tunajiona kama wa Afrika mambo ya sustainability ni geni, lakini hapana, wazee wetu, babu zetu wamekuwa wakiishi hivi. Kwa hivyo tunajiambia tutajikumbushaje while also appreciating the technologies that I imagine. Kwa hivyo tukitoka this session in the afternoon, we'll go to the breakout sessions kwa different tents, zimeandikwa vizuri ili tuweze kuendeleza kujadiliana huku on how we can uplift maisha ya mkulima wa kawaida ama mfanyi biashara wa kawaida ama mfugaji wa kawaida. So I'll just make some brief announcements for lunch. I will ask our chief guest, Mr. Nadhif Jama, to go for lunch at the Waso Hall with his team. The USAID team will be served lunch at Makuti Restaurant alongside our other guests and other participants. For those who are going to the mosque, we have the mosque on your right-hand side. So is this my right hand or their right hand, or my right-hand side? So the mosque is there for your prayers. So when we come back, we will reconvene for the groups. And if you have a presentation that will be shared during the plenary, kindly share your presentation, your PowerPoint presentation with our team on that desk, on the email address that has been provided. If you have a pen, you can write ucrdconsult@gmail.com. ucrdconsult@gmail.com for your presentations in the afternoon. So let's be very time conscious. I know the time is little. We take lunch quickly and then we break out to the sessions, and then we will reconvene from the sessions. Then we can discuss the findings and do a little Q&A. Asanteni sana for your time. Enjoy your lunch.